I'm against it. I think that sign-in and proportionality part, which the national media insisted on calling caucus, which is not a caucus, the use of the precinct convention to allocate delegates, I'm against it. I think it needs to go away, but not for these reasons of supposedly it hasn't happened. And it needs to go away for the very specific reason that it is a violation of the one person, one vote.
Yeah.
The one person, one vote.
The thing I wanted to ask you about is, would you allocate the delegates by the percentage of the popular vote that you got in your precinct?
Well, we still have to.
If I got 644, would I get more
Definitely,
delegates than
definitely. The
Yes.
delegation should be allocated by the popular vote in the primary, because that is the only way to honor the constitutional principle of one person, one vote and direct democracy.
Yeah.
You and your wife Rachel are probably the only people in this room who has been to every county in Texas. In the 2006 race, when you were running for Attorney General, you did a whistle stop and you went everywhere in Texas. One of the myths I'd like to address is that the convention process in Texas was not a problem all over Texas. If you look at this map, most of Texas had less than 3 challenges. Most of them had 1 or 2. And that's because in the rural areas, they had people that were elected who had participated in the process before and knew how to run it, knew how to turn in the paperwork, knew how to explain the rules. It was more like it had been in past years. This year, in our large cities where we had the national staff doing training, to large groups of people who've never participated, they didn't train them right. They told, both camps said, go in and get that packet.
That's right.
Well, I'll guarantee you, as precinct chair, nobody was going to get that hand on that packet, you know. If there's a precinct chair, you're not going to get that packet, you know. And so, but they were saying, now I know that Harriet did a lot of training for the Hillary Clinton campaign. I heard her say, look around, find the person that is a Clinton supporter that has the most experience and get them elected permanent chair. Some of the Obama people appear to be told, it doesn't matter if you've never done it before, go in, get your group together and make sure you get to be permanent chair. It wasn't look around and find out who in your coalition knows what you're doing. So we had a train wreck in the areas where we had the largest amount of dollars being spent by the national campaign.
But may I say something?
Yeah,
There are those of us that have done this for many years. I've run the 5th Congressional District. I've been the executive director of the Dallas Party. I've done all these things. We know how to do this. But if you do not have a state chair that tells all participants that they will abide by the rules of the Democratic Party, that's where this chaos came from.
We're going to get back to that just in just a second. We're going to
We
get back.
know how to do this, but when people
Sure.
abide.
Because I just got here, so we voted in the primary, and that allocates so many of our delegates between the candidates, and then the conventions are the rest. How are the delegates, who picks the delegates that represent the ones won by the 2 candidates on the basis of the
It's
primary?
their
Convention people.
Yeah.
The people at the convention.
No. See, that's where there's a lot of
You
confusion.
mean national, the national.
No.
This is how it goes. Okay, stop. 65%, and this is where the
No,
confusion
this
comes
question
in.
is who
I'm
makes the
finished.
national
No,
ballot?
I know. Stop. Okay, stop, y'all. Stop. Let's talk about the 65% of the delegates that are elected. The process starts at the convention. Let's talk about those. It starts at the precinct convention. If people would think in these terms, When you go vote at the primary, you are voting for the presidential preference. You're voting for the candidate of your choice. When you return to go to the convention, you are simply starting the process to nominate who is going to be the delegate. So we call those, that's 65% of the delegates, those are pledged delegates. They will be bound by the turnout at the senatorial level. So say, for example, that's what I tell you, the 23rd, we had 6 national delegates. See, right now, after the governor's race in 2010, we'll be able to allocate how many delegates that you're going to get at the next presidential election. So we've known all along that we were going to get 6 delegates to the national convention. But it's 3 steps that you have to go to vie for that. Does that make sense? You're only electing your nominee. You're nominating people from your precinct to be one of those 6 delegates. You are not voting over again on the presidential.
But in the senatorial district,
But say.
I'm talking about the 65. Let's see if we answer this question.
in the senatorial district, they get so many, right? Okay.
Each of them get delegates based on their voter turnout in previous conventions.
Get on move.
One previous
Okay,
convention.
on the
Previous
basis of the
governor.
popular vote that night, that day, are there delegates, you're saying, you get this many?
Correct, there are.
But you won't know that until who the delegates are going to be until they've gone through 3
So are you
stages.
saying this undoes the primary results?
No.
Okay,
See, that's what
let me see if I can do it. Based upon the popular vote, we had, and someone could correct me on the numbers, 126 pledged delegates. That night, we knew how many Obama got and how many Clinton.
Then my question is,
We
who
know who
picks
they are.
those people?
The delegates at the
The
state
delegates at
convention.
the state
Okay.
convention. I
See, that's the
Right.
confusing part. Who picks?
The delegates at the state.
Yeah, we've already set aside those on the basis of the primary.
Right.
The most common question I get from my students is, well, who are they?
You don't know that until the state convention.
Okay, and that's what I've been telling them, but that's where they get lost.
There's 2 different ways that they're selected. There is a senatorial convention caucus at the state convention. For instance, I am part of Senatorial 9 Tarrant County, but there's also Senatorial 9 Denton County and Senatorial 9 Collin County. We all come together and have a caucus. And that is really the only real caucus we have. We have a caucus in which we sit, one of the things we do, we elect permanent officers for the convention. They function just a few days. We elect a national elector, and we elect our senatorial committee man and committee woman, and we select however many delegates we have. Now, the sign-in at the state convention will determine how many Obama and how many Clinton or how many J. Doe and how many whatever. So if your delegates don't show up that were at your precinct convention who were selected to be at your senatorial convention, you won't get as many delegates to the state convention. If the ones that were elected to state don't show up, you're not going to get as many electors, many national delegates for your presidential preference.
You're making it real confusing.
Yeah, it is. It's real simple. This lady in the back had a question, and we weren't going to take questions, but we will since we're doing this informally. Quentin and